Welcome. I'm the Deadwood Jedi, and today we're going to be looking at a very popular composition for Clan Boss. This is the Tower Skullcrusher composition. Now, you might notice I'm not in my account. I'm in Rock's account today. It's because I'm not an expert at doing unkillable teams. I don't have the champions for it. I've never really run them. I think I ran the old Maneater 3 Painkeeper comp like a year ago, right before they nerfed it. So this is not my strong suit, but I've been able to learn a little bit over the time, and I'm getting a lot better at it. But I figured for this video, we're going to bring in someone that runs this regularly for their team, has helped a lot of you out on the Discord with it. He's one of my officers in that Discord. It is Rock. Welcome, Rock. Thanks for letting us use your account today.
You're more than welcome. Thank you very much for the invite and the honor to be on one of your videos.
Well, I don't know how much of an honor it is, but I know everybody out there is really going to appreciate us going over this. This is the typical, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be doing the Tower Skullcrusher combination. That right?
Yes, it is the Tower Skullcrusher. What I call the fast Skullcrusher comp, as what a lot of people know it as.
That's a good, I like that title actually for it. Yeah, this one, I've actually tried to help a couple people work on this, and I found it very tricky myself. Trying to make sure that the stun goes at the right spot, that the speed tune happens just right. What should we be looking at first here? Do you want to just go over the champions first? Is that the better idea?
Yeah, but with this comp, pretty much all you need is Tower and Skullcrusher. You can run damn near any other 3 champions. You know what I mean? Obviously, make sure there's no turn meter manipulation or extra turn type champions in there. Because they, like, if you run a Rotos, he will ditch his unkillable and things like that, or a Raglan will push everybody's sort of turn meter too fast, and eventually you will desync. So as long as you're not doing anything like that, it's not a problem. But obviously you've got the Skullcrusher there. He's going to be running at, what's he on? 244 speed.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing about him. The other one as well is mine's actually in lifesteal gear. And this is due to the fact that I used to use him in my normal Ultimate Nightmare comp. And I literally changed his boots and put a speed set on him to bump him up from 191 to that speed. And I literally just left him. You don't need him in lifesteal. You can get away with literally just masteries on that.
Okay.
So he doesn't need that. Some people do prefer to use an immortal set on him as well, just to give him that little bit more, because some people do say that if Skullcrusher goes to 1 hit point with the unkillable buff and stays there, the clan boss doesn't target him with the stun. I've not run into it, but other people have said they have. And I know a few people who say, no, you don't need it at all.
I've heard that as well. So
yeah, so it's not proven that it is, and it's not proven that it's not. So it's just one of them ones to just sort of stay a bit off of, you know what I mean? So, and then obviously, do you want to go to Tower? Yeah, Tower, the other main man in the comp, and his big stat is that 241 speed. As you can see by my gear, I'd run 3 speed sets on him, because if he takes damage, pretty much it runs over. That's game. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is literally how this comp works. It's an all or nothing comp effectively when you run this comp. If Tower takes damage, you're in trouble. That's all I'm going to say with that. So if he's got that 241 speed, he's golden. If you want to just go through my gear, my Tower is not well geared, because I struggled to get the speed. I'm sure if you look at like my banner, I've got a resistance banner on, I think it is.
Oh wow!
Because I needed 7 speed to get it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I couldn't get near the speed at the time." And that was because when I made this comp, or I found out about this comp, I wanted to run it. I was running a normal 191 to like 209 speed counterattack comp, and I didn't want to break any of my current working comp to make him. So I literally used bits and bobs that I had and just slapped him on there to try and get the speed. And literally since then, all I've done is leveled them to level 16.
Wow.
I've not like changed them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so bad because it works, so I don't want to break it. That's one other thing I like about this comp, is the fact that if you've got a spare Skullcrusher and a Rosh card or Tower, you can make them, and then because everybody else's speed is 191 to 197 effectively, you don't have to break your normal Ultimate Nightmare comp.
Essentially, you're saying it's a pretty simple way to basically have a backup composition as well. So you can level up a more traditional composition.
Certainly, yeah, because obviously we're talking potentially a lot of silver. When you want to try and get a champion to 240 plus speed, you're like, this is kind of difficult. Do you know what I mean? So it can be, and it can certainly, like, if you're a free to play player, that's a lot of silver you got to put into that. So, those masteries, I've deliberately put those on Skullcrusher because those are the best masteries for Skullcrusher if you don't run another counter attack champion in its composition.
I noticed we're coming down this healing tree.
Yeah, it's the bottom one you're looking at, lasting gifts.
That's the whole point, is to get to this lasting gift spot here.
Yeah, because you use Skullcrusher's Unkillable on the stun,
you want it to try and last some time, so we get some extra counterattack procs in there. That makes a lot of sense.
You know, and that's if you don't run. I run Martyr in my comp, so I don't really need it. But that will give you that extra bit. Do you know what I mean? And certainly, if you're running someone like a Draco Septimus, one of them getting an extra round of a counter attack is big. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like they don't hit soft. So that's why I
assume Lore Steel is just so we can get to that speed a little bit easier.
Yeah,
as well.
that's literally so we can go up to that speed.
So I do want to point out, just for everybody watching, this is how. So first off, masteries, very individual. You want to look and figure out for yourself what are the best masteries to choose. Use whatever people present to you as guides, because there's not a definitive way that you have to do things. There's a couple things you want to get, like obviously you want to come down here to War Master if you're doing Clan Boss, or Giant Slayer depending on how many attacks you get. But a lot of this, do you go defensive tree? Do you go support tree? There's wiggle room there. And one of the things you've got to be careful of is that we avoid rapid response, that you avoid cycle of magic, that you avoid arcane celerity, and that you are very judicious in using lasting gifts. And you also want to avoid cycle of revenge here. Those all affect turn meter or skill cooldowns, and so you want to be careful about it. These two, specifically rapid response and arcane celerity, are really bad if you're running a very specific speed tune composition like this one is. Cycle of magic, when you have a champion like Skullcrusher where his counterattack affects a lot of things, it's very important that we don't choose that, because if he uses it at the wrong time, it'll throw off the entire composition. And so this is perfect right here. You can see he's avoiding all those problematic ones and just coming down to the ones that he needs. This is really nice, Rock. Very good.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's because the main thing is as well is a lot of people say, with Skullcrusher, you know, I mean, you don't need the accuracy on him because you don't want him to land his healing debuff on the clan boss, which makes sense. So a lot of people generally sort of go down the defense tree to try and get the counter attack on stun.
Yeah.
But in this composition, Skullcrusher's getting stunned. So he can't effectively. Do you know what I mean? Like, if that procs, that means the wrong person has stunned and we're in a lot of trouble.
Absolutely. Actually, let me go ahead and show that to people that are watching. So this right here, Resurgent, there's a chance to remove a debuff because we have Skullcrusher going so fast, he has to take the stun. It has to slow his cooldowns down. If this activates, that'll throw it all off. So it's important we don't take that. If for example, if you don't go support tree, you do go defense tree, you just want to make sure that you skip Resurgent. Just go around that skill. That's going to be a much better choice. Who else do you use in your composition? I know I use Tower. We have Martyr. I think I showed her gear here, right?
Yeah, that's that it's that Martyr that runs in this comp. Yeah.
Yep, and then we have Skullcrusher.
Skullcrusher.
It's a Cult
Brawler.
Nice.
And Razin.
And Razin. There you go. That makes sense.
Yeah, Razin for the debuffs.
I just want to be able to show everybody so they can see the stats that we're running.
Excuse his accuracy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what?
You know what I mean? I'll admit I'm no whale or anything and stuff like that, and this is not a massively overpowered account. If you want to have a laugh at my guild hall, you can.
Razin, you know what I mean? Like, incredibly hard to get to a fast speed because it's based.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? I need to do a lot more arena, so hopefully when you realise, like, I think the output of this comp is actually quite a lot higher than what a lot of people think when you.
No kidding.
Certainly when you look at my account, if you know what I mean. So I used to wail a little bit, but I don't anymore. So.
Right. I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna do a run on Ultimate Nightmare, so everybody knows. We're gonna walk through it. Once we get the tune in effect and we've covered all the basics, I'm gonna go ahead and let the rest of the run play out with a little bit of music, so it's kind of fun for everybody. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back. We're gonna go in the calculator so you can see how how you can plug this on the calculator for yourselves, and then I'm gonna show, or I guess Rock's gonna show us how we can adjust this composition for a Nightmare run. So you definitely want to stick around to the end so you can see how this works both for Nightmare and Ultimate Nightmare. But let's get into it and kind of get the run started here. All right, so.
Right, first off, this is what a lot of people don't like. You start off with Skullcrusher's A2.
Oh, you start with the counterattack.
Start with the counterattack. Now, there's two reasons that I do this. And one is if you aren't running a Martyr, this gives you 2 rounds of counterattack on the first 2 AoEs.
Sure.
And obviously, when you're running a Unkillable team, you've got to turn 50 cutoff. So it gives you that extra round. Also, as well, the advantage of this is if you run this comp, it puts Ally Protect on everybody as well. But so if it does come out of sync or it's not going to work, you're going to get slightly longer, but it's not going to last long. But the reason you can use it now is because it's only a 3-turn cooldown because he hasn't been stunned. Mm-hmm. So because he's 4-3 tuned, he's going to have that back up before the first stun.
Got you. Okay, great.
That makes sense, yeah. So he's going A2.
All right, so we'll go ahead and use that then.
That one. Now on tower, we need to get him in line. So he's will be the A3 to his block damage on everybody.
We are going to use that right away on tower as well.
We are going to use that right away.
Beautiful.
Razim A2.
Get that decreased defense and weaken going.
Yeah, A1 on this guy. A cold brawler. And then counterattack. Counterattack. And after you press this, you can press auto.
Wait, that's it?
That's it. You can press auto now.
That's like the simplest setup I've ever seen.
Yep.
Okay.
You can press auto.
That's exciting.
With the comp as well, obviously, because we use Skullcrusher Towers block damage before other champions do. So on turn, the second that hit there, people took some damage. They are all in immortal sets, which helps them pick themselves back up. And also on turn 5, I think the second AoE of the second round rotation, if that makes sense, Martyr will take some damage. After that, we should all be in sync, and it's only Skullcrusher taking hits on his Unkillable. So, and that is us up and running.
hoping to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my farmland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club. I'm in a tropic club.
That's a
All
nice
right,
run.
so that wasn't too bad. 46 million, 50 turns exactly. That's an impressive that's an impressive composition, my friend.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, wow, that worked that's so simple. Why don't we go to the calculator real quick, and then you can show how it works
Yeah,
as far as the speed goes. So we're on Ultimate Nightmare right now, and I just wanted to make sure so like we can see how everything tracks in here. And so we have Skullcrusher on a 4-turn cooldown for the stun, essentially.
Yep.
And so like so he's going to use the Unkillable right here. We're not going to worry about that 1-turn delay for the calculator. We'll just know that happens.
Yep.
And then after that, he'll take the stun, and it just kind of comes up every single time.
Yeah.
This is a really remarkable.
Yeah, so that's the Ultimate Nightmare one. So if you go to the top
Yep.
and change it to Nightmare,
Yep.
and then if you scroll down to turn 17 or 18, roughly to like past where it normally sinks, you can see literally it's wrong. You can see Skullcrusher, it's wrong. So if you scroll back up to turn 8 and 9,
Yep.
so if you do exactly the same setup as what we did for Ultimate Nightmare, except run it obviously on Nightmare mode, on turn 8, when he does that's AoE 2, press auto again so it stops. Literally manual all your champions and just move Skullcrusher along 1. Let him do the stun, which will go on Skullcrusher, and then move Tower. Literally, instead of doing his A3, do an A1 and move it down 1.
Gotcha.
So now, if you go back into the calculator, into the champions, and add 1-turn delay on both of their abilities, so Tower's A3, put a 1 in, and then on Skullcrusher, put a 4 in. Now goes down to 17, 18.
And it's perfectly in sync.
Yeah.
Wow.
So literally turns 8 and 9, delay Skullcrusher on turn 8, and Tower on turn 9.
So
and it syncs up again.
So that's all you have to do to make that work. That's really great. So you do the same delays just like you would, just as I'm gonna kind of re-explain this for everybody watching. So just like you would normally do this run with using Tower and Skullcrusher's ability right off the bat, everything's going to be the same, except you need to get down to turn 8. So you can basically take that first turn and set it up, and then turn 8, you go ahead and click off the auto button, come back in, and you just have to manually wait 1 turn for Skullcrusher's ability, wait 1 turn for Tower's ability, and then you're full auto again. That's such a great and simple fix. And so that makes this composition totally viable for Nightmare as well as Ultimate Nightmare.
Yeah, certainly. If you run these speeds, these speeds are a lot tighter. Certainly, like you need a champion at 191. You need a champion at 193. Tower has to be 241. 241.
Look at that. One point change will throw the whole thing off.
Yeah,
That's
literally. The champion at 195 can be 195 or 196.
Okay.
And Skullcrusher as well can be up to, I think, 246.
Okay. So there's a little leeway, but like it's only 1 or 2 points. These are pretty exacting numbers.
That's only a Nightmare. For Ultimate Nightmare, is a lot more variation. It's only Tower that has to be 241.
Gotcha.
Tower, you can do what you want with him. He can have as many speed sets and Laura Steel as you want on him. It will not throw it off. The one to be careful of is, I believe, the 191 champion.
Sure.
Watch that doesn't go to 190.8 or something like that. Once it starts getting slowed down there, it can cause issues, I do believe.
Real quick, though, I want to show this is what you did on Nightmare. You shared this with me. So we got 56 million damage doing this same kind of run on Nightmare. And you did mention that this does not play very well with affinities, I believe. So that's something
unfortunately not. It is not pretty on affinities, I will not lie.
And I've heard too, like to get Skullcrusher working right, because you have yours in lifesteal gear, but you're saying we don't need that. All we need is this Life Drinker Mastery here. And that should do enough for healing. And if not that, we can always put Immortal gear on him too, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Well, I thought that was super informative and very helpful. I cannot thank Rock enough for coming on here and doing this for you. Guys, if you enjoyed this, please don't forget, subscribe to the video. It's really important. Like it as well and hit the notification bell. Please stop by the Discord. Tell Rock how much you appreciate this. That guy's on there all the time, helping folks out with their compositions. He's kind of our Unkillable expert there. So if you use this, please give him a shout out. Let him know. He's really going to appreciate that. Rock, thank you so much for coming out, man. I really appreciate you letting us use your account and walking us through this composition.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
My pleasure, my friend. My pleasure. All right, folks. So till next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.